Hey, peace, everyone. Thanks for being here. One idea, lid.
Recognize royalty, recognize it, recognize royalty, gotta recognize it, recognize royalty, like they ain't got eyes to recognize royalty. I can feel, recognize royalty, I can see, recognize royalty, now I recognize royalty, royalty's eyes, royalty, I can see, recognize royalty, I can love, recognize royalty, now I recognize it. Royalty, royalty. I recognize passion. Never just the man with the title in his hand, with the vital in his hand, with the Bible in his hand. You never just the man with the scepter and demand, with the lecture and the stand, with the vector and the candle. Can you understand the grand from the texture of the hand? Hard at work, are you hard at work? Working with the man, don't kiss the ring of royalty. Crown him king, just a thing, letting loyalty ring. Bring frankincense and myrrh and other things. It's gold already blings from the highest that prizes no sins. Recognize the kings overruling commandments with the Trinity and the power it brings when you recognize royalty. I feel it. I can see you. Yeah, I see it. Now I recognize now. Royalty. I can see you. I see it. I can love again. And I'm in love now. I recognize your passion. Royalty. Recognize royalty.
Yeah. So once again, peace. Welcome to part 5 of our saga. Um, part 4. We did the mathematics, son. And we said the creators of hip hop are white, and the teachers of hip hop are Arabs. Um, you know, so that's kind of where we are in our quest to find out who is the creator of hip hop. At all turns we're finding out that it's there are very non-black influences going on, and a lot of remixing and a lot of cutting and scratching. You know, the music, hip hop music is cutting and scratching of music that already existed. It's just cutting and scratching disco music, um, and rapping over it, and dancing to it, and that's hip hop culture. Um, the same with the teachings. The teachings is just cutting and scratching Islam and creating NOI, and cutting and scratching some more and creating the 5% nation, the gods and earths. So, that's where we are. Creators are white, teachers are Arab. We want Arab money. We want Arab teachers. That's what's up. And we want Arab teachers from the messianic groups, which is what Fard Muhammad was a part of. Fard Muhammad was one of those, messianic types who, believed that the black man was the original man. He actually believed in the Mahdi. Y'all can kind of look it up or watch the last videos. It's all in there. The Mahdi, who is the Messiah. Um, so, and that he's going to return to come and save the black man and all that. But, the idea drawn is that, the black man is the original man. And we created civilization. Which makes sense, or at least helps to explain why black people take claim to creating everything. We created the Egyptian civilization. We created the Moorish civilization, the Moorish civilization that conquered Europe. We're native to America. We're the Abos. Anything great, that's us. And now even America, we created America. We're foundational Black Americans, you know. So I'm wondering if just that whole idea of wanting to take credit for everything is kind of in our subconscious psyche somewhere, which is just residue from, our teachings that we are the original man and the creators of civilization. You know, I mean, create civilization. Why couldn't we create everything? Or at least take credit for it. um, yeah, but knowledge, we also said knowledge as the fifth element, even more importantly, is un-American. It's a separatist hate for white people. The white man is the devil ideology. That's what the knowledge element is all about. And it's also about drugs and sex and gang activity. Um, or maybe not the knowledge element, but hip hop in and of itself is gang, sex, and drug activity. And all of those things are un-American. That's the main idea, is that, hip hop is an un-American culture. The creators are white, the teachers are Arab. It's an un-American system and an un-American culture. But today we're kind of gonna go back and look a little bit more on the creators of hip hop. We're gonna talk about that a little bit more and kind of see where it takes us. Yeah. All right. So here we go. So the next thing we want to do is we want to take a little hippity hop to the candy shop. Um, that's our next move in our adventures. And what that means is we're going to take a look at the origin of the term hip hop. So, as usual, we're going to wiki and see what we can see. Um, so it says the origin The origin of the phrase hip hop is unknown, but a very old example of the phrase appears in scene 2 of an anonymously written satirical play from 1671 called The Rehearsal, thought to be written by George Villiers, second Duke of Buckingham, and others. Wow, imagine that. Imagine that. The very phrase hip hop goes back to the Duke of Buckingham. Isn't that special? Yeah, man. That's so lovely. So yeah, the phrase itself goes back to a play written by the Duke. A character in the play named Bays says, "I is not I gadha," or to go off hip hop on this occasion is 1,000 times better than any conclusion in the world. I got this play. That was pretty good. I give myself kind of like a 8.72 out of like a 8.76. That was pretty good. That was pretty good. This play and two other later sources are mentioned as an entry, hip hop, in a multi-volume dictionary from 1901 called A New English Dictionary on Historical Principles. This is in wait, no, that plays from 1671. From 1671, from the Buckingham Palace. And it was written, it's written in an entry in 1901. And the definition is hip hop, or a reduplication of hop with alternation of lighter and heavier vowel, like drip drop, tip top, with hopping movement with successive hops. A similar phrase, hippity hop, hippity hop, of unknown origin, goes at least back to the 1800s and appears in a poem, Spring Weather, written by Elizabeth Cummings, published in an 1882 children's magazine called Wide Awake. Look at that. Look at that, hippity hoppers. Y'all go all the way back. Y'all go all the way back. That's 19th century. That's 17th century. Wow. Y'all been hippity hopping for a long time. Yeah. Um, but yeah, a similar phrase, hippity hop, of unknown origin, goes back to the 1800s and appears in a poem, Spring Weather, written by Elizabeth Cummings, published in an 1882 children's magazine called Wide Awake. The illustrated poem begins, hippity hop to the candy shop, four little men in a row. And the phrase appears a few more times. Hippity hop to the candy shop, four little men in a row. The hopping depicted in the illustration seems to cross over later to describing dances such as the Lindy hop. So hippity hop, the hopping depicted in the illustration, uh, hippity hop is now describes dances such as the Lindy hop. Oh no, it's just the hop part that describes dances. The hop. The hop is the dancing. The hop is the dancing. OMG. And what's the hip? Let's see. So the hopping depicted in the illustration seems to cross over later to describing dances such as the Lindy hop, or that happened later. Yeah, okay, which began in Harlem in the late 1920s. Later dance parties in the 1970s, with DJs predated rap music, but rap music would evolve out of them. Later dance parties in the 1970s with DJs predated rap music, but rap music would evolve out of them. That's that disco we was talking about. In an article in Medium, Jeff Chang writes, Father Amde Hamilton of the influential rap precursors, the Watts Prophets, told me that when he was growing up along Central Avenue in 1950s Los Angeles, the older folks used to call teen house parties them old hippity hops. them, them old hippity hops is what the old folks would call the disco parties. That right? Yeah, hippity hops. The earliest known instance of hip hop as a compound phrase in a song lyric is in a song about dancing by the doo-wop group. Is a song about dancing by the doo-wop group, the Dovels, in 1963 called "You Can't Sit Down." The lyric is, "You gotta slop, bop, flip flop, hip hop, never stop." Keith bars. Bars. Keith Cowboy, rapper with Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, who is sometimes credited with the term as it relates to hip hop as we know it today, although it was not documented. Who? Keith Cowboy? Keith Cowboy is credited with what? No, it's not no Keith Cowboy. It's this lady up here. It's the hippity hop lady. Hippity hop to the candy shop. Four little men in a row. Them is bars already. Like, and that's it. That's what is that? 1671? No, that's 1890 some 1870. And we want to talk about who? What's his name? Grandmaster Flash? No. Keith Cowboy? No. I mean, I'm gonna say no to that, buddy. I think it's before your time. The whole hippity hop thing with the, disco, that's just natural. That just seems more logical. Um, but anyway, let's read. It says, Lovebug Starsky, Keith Cowboy, and DJ Hollywood used the term when the music was still known as disco rap. Yeah, they were using the term when it was known as disco rap because there was some old folks calling it hippity hop. Hello. It is believed by some that Cowboy created the term while teasing a friend who had just joined the U.S. Army by singing the words hip hop in a way that mimicked the rhythmic cadence of soldiers marching. Psh, no, I like the other one, but I like the hippity hop story. Um, Cowboy later worked hip hop into a part of his stage performance, saying something along the lines of what was adopted by other artists such as the Sugar Hill Gang in 1979 in one of the earliest rap records, Rapper's Delight. Cowboy later worked hip hop into a part of his stage performance, saying something along the lines of what was adopted by such artists as the Sugar Hill Gang in 1979 in one of the earliest rap records, Rapper's Delight. I said a hip hop, hibbity hibbity hip hop, yeah, and you don't stop. Yes, I was very bad, um, but it was a bar. Universal Zulu Nation founder and music artist Afrika Bambaataa is credited with first using the term as a five-element culture of which the music belonged, although it is also suggested that it was sometimes used as a derogatory term. Um, yeah, by them old folks, hippity, they was calling y'all hippity hoppers. Come on, my word, my word. Them old folks was tired of y'all. You got to be kidding me. So it was used as a derogatory term. Makes perfect sense. Hip hop music in the early 1980s was an anti drug and anti violence social movement led by Afrika Bambaataa and the Universal Zulu Nation. Yeah, it was them gangsters, the gangsters, they start wars and then turn around and start anti-violence movements. Start violence, then anti-violence. And that's what they do. That's the gang way. The term was used in an article of February 24th, 1979 by reporter Flipping Jr., Robert Flipping Jr. in the New Pittsburgh Courier. The article is about DJs and discotheque nightclubs in Pittsburgh and does not mention rap music, but says this. Uh, DJ Starsky, or Lovebug Starsky, one of the more prominent bass disc jockeys, he is also responsible for the derivation of the hip hop. Lovebug Starsky is also credited for the term by Afrika Bambaataa in January 1982. Interview by Michael Holman in East Village Eye. Holman stating, hip hop, the all-inclusive tag for the rapping, breaking, graffiti writing, crew, fashion wearing, street subculture. The term gained further currency in September of that year in another Bambaataa interview in the Village Voice by Stephen Hager, later author of a 1984 history of hip hop. Yeah, it's them. Hip hop and rap music are often used interchangeably, but the term hip hop has also been historically used to describe a culture of which music is a part. Historically, hip hop is a cultural movement that emerged in the South Bronx in New York City during the 1970s, which included emceeing or rapping, graffiti art, or aerosol art. breakdancing, DJing, and knowledge. Yeah, all of this is so inspiring. Yeah, yeah. This is, you know, the rabbit hole has been very, hold on, I'm not even gonna say that. Yeah, man, this has been very revealing. So, the term disco is white, the term hip hop is white. You know, the hippity hoppers, the old folks calling them like that is just so natural to me. It makes sense to me. It's hippity hop is old white folks, you know what I mean, just being annoyed with the young white folks with their loud music, that damn disco. Don't you see it? Damn, you hippity hoppers. That's what hip hop is. Yeah, So hippity hop to the candy shop, 4 little men in a row. I mean, it's a bar. I can hear it now. Hippity hop to the candy shop, 4 little N-words in a row. This is hip hop. This just feels right to me. This just feels right to me. I think this is like a very exciting ride and glance through the corridors of hip hop history. This is awesome. Can't wait to see where we go next. You know what I mean? So far it's all white people. Black people are there cutting and scratching. We cutting and scratching. And we're cutting and scratching white people stuff. We're just remixing white people stuff. In a court of law, they can claim it. In a court of law, they can claim it. I'm telling you. And if in a court of law they can claim it, in a court of law, they should be able to claim the use of the N-word. I'm kidding. Or am I? Man alive. Listen, the routine. Hit the like button. Subscribe. Hit notification. A lot's gonna happen. Join the Discord. American Dream is alive. I'm on X. American Dream guy. And Cash App. Teamwork makes the dream work. So, if you want the dream to work, it takes teamwork. Hit the Cash App. American Dream is alive. That's the cash tag. American Dream is alive. Let's do this. Peace and blessings. We out. See y'all on the next one.
Recognize royalty. Recognize royalty. Gotta recognize it. Recognize royalty. Like they ain't got eyes to recognize royalty. I can feel. Recognize royalty. I can see. Recognize royalty. Now I recognize royalty. Royalty. I can see. Recognize royalty. I can love. Recognize royalty. Now I recognize it. I recognize passion. Never just a man with the title in his hand, with the vital in his hand, with the Bible in his hand. Never just a man with the scepter in demand, with the lecture in the stand, with the vector and the candle. Can you understand the grand? From the texture of the hand, hard at work. Are you hard at work, working with the man? Don't kiss the ring of royalty. crown him king, just a thing, letting loyalty ring. Bring frankincense and myrrh and other things. As gold already blings from the highest that prizes no sins. Recognize your kings, overruling commandments with the Trinity and the power it brings. When you recognize royalty, I feel it. I can see you. Yeah, I see it. I recognize now. Royalty. I can see you. I see it. I can love again. Now I'm in love now. I recognize your passion. Royalty. Recognize royalty. Sunrise royally. Sitting on top of the world. I'm five morally. Status of a king for surely. Morally, we pop dumb things till we stop the impurity. We pop them just for recognition. Listen to the missionary on a mission with the visionary vision. Do you recognize intuition? I reel in men when I went out fishing. I tell you why they rocked the boat, cause they didn't understand what the prophet wrote. What's the conniption? Choose the Jews' crucifixion and refuse recognition at son child's christening. In the mix, I'm in some. Insist they fix the system from malarkey back to my monarchy. Yeah, back above me. Don't soil my purple and blue, and I will recognize your royalty too. I can feel you. I feel it. I can see you. I can see it. I recognize now. It's your royalty. I can see you. I see it. I can love again. And I'm in love now. I recognize your passion.